Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm so pleased to be joined by Jessica Williams, an Emmy Award nominee for Shrinking, which is now nearing the end of its excellent second season. Jessica, I just want to start there. I mean, I even though it's a couple years later, the afterglow or being nominated for Emmy
Yeah.
for the show is really cool, I would say.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was like that was the craziest year ever because when they announced the nominations, the actors went on strike at midnight that night. And so I just remember I'm like, I get this one post and like before we went on strike, all my friends met me at one of my favorite bars and we just kind of I parked up there and then but I think that day I literally was like picketing. I was like got the nomination, went to go pick it with the WGA and then did interviews like 'cause I guess I didn't know this is what happens when you get nominated for an Emmy, but you like people call you and they're like, how do you feel? And I was like, "Ah," like it just made me like so manic. But thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then the same year there was like two Emmys that year, so we were
Yes.
like the pre-Emmys, we were like the weird winter Emmys, and then there was like the other official Emmys. So it was just a weird year for everybody. I think it's still kind of weird. Like I think the industry is still getting back on its feet. So I'm really lucky to be on Shrinking
Yeah.
because we start shooting next month. So
Wow. That's
yeah,
crazy. This
yeah.
season is so good. One of the things I love about this season too is that it's 12 episodes. I don't, it was just immediately I was like, oh, this is like giving the room to breathe, all these characters the room to kind of breathe with the extra episodes. I really enjoyed just as a viewer. And I think we get that with Gabby too. Like I feel like your character is a lot more fleshed out this season, even though you were so great in the first season, right? Like I guess so. Like what was when you first like got the scripts for this season, what were you like excited about like getting to tear into, I guess?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in that first season, in the first two episodes, like even with Gabby, like when I signed on, Brett Goldstein, one of the creators of the show, Bill Lawrence, and Jason, were all just kind of like, okay, so we have this character, Gabby. She's not really in the first couple episodes, but this is what we have in mind for her, and we're going to tailor her to, the actress that plays her. And Bill's style is sort of like, we're going to shoot the scene and then you're going to get an opportunity to sort of improvise and do whatever you want to do and have like a fun run, which was really cool. And so for that whole first season, me and the other actors, like we don't really know what's going on. We haven't seen the show, and so we're just kind of feeling around in the dark for like the beats of a character, especially with Gabby, because they just kind of knew they wanted her to balance out Jimmy, Jason's character, and Paul, Harrison Ford's character.
Right.
They wanted to be kind of the light in the office. And so I was kind of just working off of them and looking at what they were doing to kind of fill in the holes and like kind of blast this like kind of woman, this warm woman into the story. And so after laying that groundwork and learning my relationships with like Krista Miller, who plays Liz, Ted McGinley, who plays Derek, Michael Urie, who plays Brian, Lakita Maxwell, who plays Alice, Luke Tenney, like it was sort of we were all learning each other and learning about each other's characters. And some characters are just meeting each other for the first time in that season too. And so to go from that season to this season is really a gift, especially on like a 30-minute comedy. Like the second season, I never had a second season of a show before. I've
Hmm.
done like limited series before and The Daily Show, which is a completely different thing. It was like, oh, I understand Gabby. Oh, okay, cool. Like I had already done the groundwork of figuring out who she was. And so I just kind of got to come in and do her moves. And like, the biggest thing for me is when people watch Gabby, I want them to feel like they're watching something alive really
Hmm.
happening. I want them to feel like there's a spontaneity and a general warmth and like so for that, I'm always trying to like stay in the present moment of the scene and like respond to the other actor that's like, just listening. And so to be able to do that, and I feel like I really like exercise that muscle a lot in the second season is like an honor while also kind of building more background and filling out her characters.
I love that. It does feel your performance is so it's like so naturalistic, I guess. It just feel like it feels like you're just like in the like completely like almost making stuff up on the fly. I know obviously you're not because the show is so well written, but
Yeah.
I do find that like fascinating about your performance. I just think it's like so natural. And I think especially with like Damon Wayans who plays Derek, another Derek
Mhm.
this season as
Mhm.
Gabby's significant other, or I love those scenes together with you guys. I just think they like feel like they're just happening, like just in real
Yeah.
life, I guess. And like was it great to getting work with like yeah, like how'd you work with him to get that to make it feel like it does, I guess, or is it the same thing like you're saying, I guess?
He's just a really fast actor. I remember
Hmm.
like when they were casting that, Bill really wanted someone to like, Bill was telling me, he's like, okay, with all due respect, he's like, when you're on the screen, people are gonna, you gobble up this, your face gobbles up the screen, you know, your performance gobbles up the screen. He's like, so we can't just put like anybody up against you, you know, you need someone who's going to be able to like take up the space with you, you know? And I was like, oh, thank you, I think. And Damon was just like a perfect fit. I mean, he's like fast. He's just like a really fast thinker, and he comes from like, you know, such a strong background of that. And I've always loved his work. And, you know, he was like available and willing to do it, which is the other part. And so it was easy, you know, it's just sort of like, I think creating chemistry with anyone, because I think our cast has really great chemistry. It's about really caring about the other person and like wanting to support them. Literally, like
Right.
it's about, you know, wanting to see like Krista do good. It's about wanting to see Luke Tenney do well, and like making sure that I'm setting them up to like succeed in this while also first and foremost taking care of myself.
Right. And then does that make you too like you're saying like this ensemble is awesome? I was like I feel like everyone on it is like I said this
Mhm.
to Jason Moore, like everyone could have their own show basically. It feels like all these
Yeah.
characters so well done and they're all really funny. And I
Mhm.
just think does that make you too want to like I guess step up because you know like everybody else is gonna be like hitting at such a high level.
For
Like
sure.
okay.
Yeah. You know, I mostly did this show because I really wanted to work with Jason, not really knowing like what the show was going to be. And I wanted to do a show where I could do comedy and drama and like show range. And that's one of the things I admire most about Jason is he can really just do it all and just
Mhm.
spin a plate. And so I like the idea of being able to hit like a comedy joke sometimes, like we're watching a 90s or aughties sitcom, you know, and being able to go get to the heart of the matter and give you a scene that requires like being present and listening and just like, you know, feeling whatever, if the emotion's sad or anger, and being able to do that with truth and conviction. And so I just wanted to be able to do that on a
Mhm.
show. It's like the perfect, you know, medium for that. Like it's like a dream. It's like a dream role and a dream
Yeah.
part.
It really
Yeah.
does feel like you're right because it does feel like a classic like night like you said like a classic sitcom but also like with a like also like the modern shows that I think are more like you said like dramatic and stuff. It's a great balance. It just works at both
Yeah.
those levels.
Bill Lawrence is really great at that. I mean,
Yeah.
you watch Scrubs, which I freaking love Scrubs, you know,
Mhm.
it's like the rhythm and timing of Scrubs is like, you know, it's great. When you watch a good comedy, you know there's rhythm. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you know, comedy is hard and good comedy. And comedy, it's like a melody.
Mhm.
It's like a I don't know. I don't want to sound like pretentious, but you can tell the setup and punchline of a joke. Like when you go see a stand up, you're like watching someone sing and do a
Right.
rhythm. You can
Right.
switch two words around and the joke is not as funny than if you
Mhm.
take the words, you know, switch the other way. And so, you know, it's not like a drama. Like at the end of the day, like we're still trying to do a bunch of jokes per minute and like get that out on this show. And I like that, like especially coming from like an improv background, a live show background. Like I did Upright Citizens Brigade, comedy sports. I did The Daily Show. I did this podcast called Two Dope Queens for like a long time. You know, I like the adrenaline of not knowing what's going to happen and then finding the punchline.
Right.
Um, that's really exciting to be able to do that while acting.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a unicorn this show basically. It's really cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like it's very special and it's like
Yeah.
really earnest. You know, it's like not a cool show. It's like not a sexy show. I mean,
Right.
obviously
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
everyone's really hot on the show,
Yeah.
but that's open to interpretation, you know. But still, it's not like a sexy, cool show. It's like a really earnest show.
Yeah.
Which and that's like I like earnest people and I like earnestness. And so I never thought I'd end up on a show like this,
Hmm.
doing, you know, a part like this, but it feels like really good to be able to
Yeah.
do.
And you get to do I mean like there's so many funny things like the scene when Luke's character, I'm blank, I forgot, is in the hospital and he's roasting. Like, I just love when all of you guys are together and like shit like that. I think it's like really funny. Like that scene is really good. Like, it's just very funny show. It's very,
Thank
very
you. I noticed that happens in episode 6 usually because I think that's episode 6 where Sean,
Sean. Yes.
played by Luke Tenney. There's a lot of names.
Sorry,
You know, and you got to interview a lot of people. I get it. You
I
don't worry.
interviewed him too, and I forgot. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I know. Where he just sits around and is roasting us, and that was one of the first scenes where we were all together because we
yeah,
do kind of pair off and do like thruples. I don't know what
yeah,
I said, but
yeah.
trios and
I know what you mean.
you know stuff like that. And that was just a really fun day. We like shot in a hospital all day, and Luke was like doing that, you know, in that state for like many hours, like probably the whole day, like 8 hours, you know. And so he had to do the heavy lifting that day, and we were all there to kind of support him. But the cast, like we all love each other, and we all like support each other. And I think you can feel that in interviews and the way we talk about each other. Like, so we just get to kind of watch Luke act. Like, I like that feeling of being able to just watch people go that I'm working with.
We get to see the season two. Obviously, like Gabby's family is more present in the
Mhm.
season.
I
Renee
got
Watson plays your mother on
you.
screen. Great.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, what was it like working with her? And especially in this episode, the last one, the one that just aired in episode 10, we have Gabby's decision to not have her move in, her
Yeah.
mother move in. And I love that scene because I was like, I think you're watching that and you're expecting her mother to be like, oh, like this is fine. And it doesn't
Mhm.
land that way at all. So it took me by surprise. And I guess like I love again how you played that scene. I think is like really great. I guess can you talk a little about that? Like
Yeah.
I guess Gabby standing up for herself in that way, but also the disappointment I would imagine of having that response, and I guess like how you kind of like played that.
Yeah, I think the key to a scene like that, first of all, it starts with the writing. Like you could shoot really brilliant writing on an iPhone and you would have a really amazing movie. Like, you know what I mean? It happens. It's the writing is like the most important to me. And then you have the director. So that was written by Ashley Nicole Black and our director James Ponsel, who's just one of my favorite directors ever. And it's like and just to act up against Renee, who's like an absolute legend and has been doing this for forever. I mean, it's just easy. Like, sometimes it's like when you're watching like a boxing match and, with acting, you're like doing the scene and then the director comes and he like whispers something to you and he talks to you a little bit. And the key to a good director is when they have a warmth, for me at least, a familiarity. They're not too serious, like they're very easy to laugh. And also they understand how to talk to you to get you to where you need to be. That's like an actor's director, which to me James is an actor's director. And so he made it easy, he knows like a director is going to get the performance out of you that you want, and then you send it to editing, and then you hope that the interesting things you did or something makes the cut. And then Bill is like a master editor, so then Bill Lawrence chooses these moments and then he puts it together. So it's really like never just me. It's like a lot of things have to go right in
Hmm.
different departments to see a really good episode of something or a really good scene. Like everyone just has to be on board, with making the scene sing,
And
that yeah.
yeah, and then as I mean, did you like? I guess did you like that for Gabby? Like I guess like I thought that episode was really interesting. Like Paul being like, oh, you're
Yeah,
over enthusiastically a caretaker, maybe, right? And I thought that was like really interesting to think about.
yeah, with Gabby and the character, like I try like that's a story about finding care for a family member that's really close to Bill's heart, and Bill will talk about it and he has talked about it, but he really wanted that storyline for Gabby,
Hmm.
because that was something that he experienced. And a few people in the crew were like, yeah, that's another part of adulting that I wasn't expecting, was figuring out what to do, with my mom. But as far as me and her, like I try not to judge her and the choices because it affects my performance. Like I don't want to judge her because I don't want to judge what she's choosing to do and the way she does it, because I have to just act the scene. I have to just be present in the moment. But I'm always like excited about, you know, what's going to be next. I'm like reading it with everyone else.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, she's a caretaker. Like that's something, her work is asserting boundaries. And so yeah, I think
Yeah.
for the most part, like I love Gabby, but it's up to the writers to tell me what to do.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's good. I guess you have like,
You don't just
yeah,
be like
yeah.
stressed. You're gonna be like, why is she? And it's like, oh no, you just need to do the scene, do the
Right.
fucking
Live in the moment of the scene, right? Like
yeah,
live in the moment.
yeah, yeah. It's not my job. Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
enough. You have enough to do. You're letting
Yeah,
yourself.
I mean, look at us in America right now. Like, it's just not my job. I should just go home and play The Sims. I should just go home and play The Sims, which
You
is what
know,
I do.
like you mentioned, like you're going back for season three. Obviously, like what are you excited? I guess like what are you excited about to go back like for? Like to,
Oh,
obviously like the cast and like all this is what you're saying. It's like super fun, but like what are you expecting or like what are you excited about to go back?
acting is a lonely business because when you're doing it, when you're like on your way up to get a job, you're driving alone, you're getting to your audition alone, you're doing the audition alone, you're following your own instincts, you're minding yourself internally to make interesting strong choices and being present. And then you get on a set and you do this, and then the set disappears and then you don't see those people anymore. and then you all go on to different jobs, or the show gets canceled, or they don't ask you back, or you may never see this set and these people and this crew and these writers in this particular like ecosystem, this petri dish ever again. And so there's something I get really like nostalgic and missy about. And this is the first show that I've been able to return to, but these people are my friends.
Right.
And because of the loneliness of acting, I feel really lucky to be able to like connect and be friends with these people. Like, because we don't, you're just independent as an actor. You're just your own product. So I'm most excited about acting with these people that I love again, especially like having seen the stuff that they've done, like seeing what Lukita and Brett are doing, seeing what Ted and Krista are doing, seeing, what Michael Urie's doing. I'm like, oh shit, I want to get in there. I want to like
really
do stuff with Michael. Like I want to do more stuff with Michael. I want to do more stuff with, Lukita, like Luke Tenney. Like, I'm just excited having seen the show finally of like, yeah, like put me back in the game. Like I just want to be around. I want to bother Harrison Ford. Like I want to be, I want to bother that man.
It's so good. And I mentioned this to Jason actually too, but like the finale's on Christmas. So I was wondering, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
My favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah, just to us.
Yeah, great. I don't know. I watch the obscure Home Alone movies. Actually, it's now a tradition. So I'll watch like Home Alone 4.
Wow.
I'll watch some weird Home Alones. Actually, it's kind of my favorite.
That's crazy. I've never even seen these weird Home Alones.
I know you haven't, and I have. And you know what? The next time I talk to you, I hope you take some time to do that.
I'm gonna watch them. I've been watching.
What'd you say?
I said I'll watch it because I'm watching the first. My daughter has seen the first two, and every time we watch,
there's a bunch of them.
And I'm like, those aren't the real ones, though. So now I'll have to watch them. I'll say Jessica Williams wanted to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And there's like one of them that has like comedy people in it, and I enjoy all the actors, and it's definitely worth watching. And then I like to watch the comedy episodes of the Christmas episodes of comedy shows, and I'll just jump around. So I'll watch like It's Always Sunny Christmas episodes. I'll watch Office Christmas episodes. Like that's really cozy to me. Sex in the City, like that's really cozy too.
That's cool. Yeah. All right. And Jessica Williams, obviously incredible on Shrinking. You can watch the episodes on Apple TV Plus. Thank you for doing this.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you so much.